can we talk about Cecily and other Christian influencers who are just like clearly miserable in their marriages? And I grew up with Christian fundamentalism, so I understand in these marriages and in the culture I grew up in, divorce was so heavily frowned upon. My church didn't believe you could biblically get divorced unless you, like, the husband cheated. That was the only case. Like, even in cases of like physical violence, you could not get divorced. And then even if you do decide to push through and get divorced, a lot of women end up being excommunicated from their churches and like banished from their communities and their friendships, and they're looked at as like very dirty and bad from getting a divorce. So most women, Christian women, will not get divorced. And there's also this weird like power trauma complex people have of like, the more you suffer in your marriage, the better heaven will be for you, which is not biblical and not true, but people have that dynamic going on in their head as well. And I just keep seeing all of these influencers, Christian influencers, especially with this new trend of like, we listen and we don't judge, who are just miserable with each other and mean to each other. Like, I am not a fan of Cecily. People don't have to like everyone, but her husband is so mean to her. Like, it's terrible. And then you have Matt and Abby. They're kind of both mean to each other. They're Christian. And then you have Nurse Hannah, who says she goes to church and is Christian or Mormon, one of them. And she is constantly shitting on her husband, and her husband is constantly sounding like a dick, and they're both dicks because of what they're doing to their child. But like, they don't believe what they're selling, and you're not gonna you're not going to be like a good example for Christian marriages if every Christian marriage is miserable. And that's why you should all become progressive Christians that believe that men and women are equal and don't put up with this boy bullshit.